But what we do know is that groups such as Independent Jewish Voices have observed that the conflating of Jewish identity with the state of Israel and the conflating of criticism of Israel with anti-Semitism is problematic for multiple reasons. Among those are that this kind of an approach dehistoricizes anti-Semitism, and it also detracts from legitimate efforts to identify, address, and condemn anti-Semitism. And that actually makes Jewish communities less safe. And groups like IGV have also noted that this kind of action serves to sow fear that one might be accused of being anti-Semitic, and thus it silences any criticism of Israeli state action, including military action, when that kind of criticism is essential to calls for peace and preventing atrocities, including, as we're seeing now, instances of genocide. Third, and finally, we see that the state is actively exploiting both anti-Palestinian racism and the weaponization of allegations of anti-Semitism as a basis for the heightened surveillance of Palestinian rights activists. Police and other state security agencies, they're content to conduct widespread surveillance and monitoring of activists in the absence of any criminal conduct. And to rationalize this, these same agencies rely on manufacturing grounds of concern, which are often either rooted in anti-Palestinian racism, or they're somehow connected to false allegations of anti-Semitism, which are weaponized for political purposes. And it should be recognized that at the very same time as the hate crime unit's mandate was expanded by the Toronto Police Service, 4 UN experts expressed alarm at what they called the worldwide wave of attacks, reprisals, criminalization, and sanctions against those who publicly express solidarity with the victims of the ongoing conflict between Israel and Palestine. And so the hate crime unit's expanded mandate, it appears to fit within what these same experts from the UN described as a global policing trend, criminalizes and labels pro-Palestinian protests as hate protests, and does that to preemptively ban them, and often cites risks to national security, including risks related to the incitement of hatred, without providing what they called evidence-based justification. So to wrap up, I'll reiterate what I stated when the charge related to the PFLP flag was withdrawn against my client, which is that the presumption of innocence has to outweigh sensationalism by the police whenever the police come out and announce that charges have been laid. The police and other state security agencies, they are operating in entirely new ways right now with entirely new technology that they oftentimes lie about possessing, and we only find out years down the road that they've been using. We have to remain vigilant in the face of this new era of surveillance that we're in. We have to remain vigilant in challenging violations of our civil liberties, and being, very vocal in exercising our expression to criticize the police in instances where we suspect them of overreach. We also have to continue calling out how anti-Palestinian racism is manifesting within these same agencies. We've seen it happen in the past and immediately post 9/11, and we're seeing it happen again in a new way right now that has many new. And so while these actions alone might not be sufficient to restrain the police criminalizing protest movements, they are unquestionably necessary parts of what will be a broader strategy of solidarity and resistance to repression by the police. So thank you.
Thank you so